bell going. Of course, this is episode 37 of Ring Takes here. Joined by Brian and Lewis as always. I'm the host, Daniel Daly. Let's get right into it. This will be episode 37. We're going to be talking about AEW versus WWE NXT and Fastlane reaction. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. AEW versus WWE NXT, and I did that specifically for a reason. Of course, the Tuesday night battle took place this week. AEW Dynamite being moved to Tuesday because of MLB playoffs on Wednesday. And for a week now, we've had this kind of positioning, gesturing, trying to set up this war, everyone positioning themselves to be to have a really, really good show. AEW, I thought, had a really good show. NXT had a great show. So looking from that perspective of what happened on these respective brands, how do you guys feel about the AEW versus WWE NXT shows?
Okay, Luz, you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so primarily, I was watching NXT on Tuesday night. I just felt that, as far as promotion and everything goes, I just felt that from the outset that NXT was going to be a better show. I did try to within the first hour. I did try to flip whenever NXT went to the commercial after the first 30 minutes to go see what was going on AEW. I even had like a little list trying to keep track of like, okay, at this time they did this, at that time they did this. They might still viewers here. And after the first hour, I realized it was too much to keep up. Stayed watching NXT. And NXT they put on a great show. I mean, to start the show off perfectly with the former VP of AEW and Cody Rhodes coming out to make his announcements, saying that not only is the Dusty Classic back, but there's going to be a men's breakout tournament, and that he was going to be special GM of NXT for the night, which was a perfect start. And I think AEW started their show with a swerve against Bryan Danielson for the number one spot for the TNT title. When I went back and watched, that was a very entertaining match. But going forward, the one thing that I liked about NXT was that as far as the special guest goes, like Cena, Asuka, Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman, they were used for multiple segments. My number one fear was that like you were only going to see Cena and Paul for the main event. You were only going to see Cody make his announcement, and that was it. You were only going to see Asuka's match, and that was it. But they actually used all four of their special guest stars in multiple segments. You had Cody backstage setting up matches. You had Cena coming on. You had Paul Heyman backstage with Braun Breaker, which I think if there's any superstar that benefited more from this Tuesday night, it was Braun Breaker because to be endorsed by Paul Heyman and then to have that final segment with the surprise of the Undertaker. I mean, I definitely believe that Braun Breaker was the winner of the night. But overall, I just think that NXT had the better show. I mean, Asuka and Roxanne, they had a great match. And
I thought it was too quick. I thought it was too short of a match.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know. I think it was only like 10 minutes. But I definitely think it should have been longer than that six man pub brawl that they had with Gallus and
it was entertaining, but
Butch and Tyler Bates.
We already know who they are. We already know who they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they just put that in there just to say like it ain't just gonna be main roster. We do have our guys, our core guys from NXT in Gallus and Tyler Bate that we can show off. But overall, NXT was a great show. I love the main event between Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker, which was which was entertaining. And then obviously, as I mentioned before, the surprise return of the Undertaker. And even though they didn't promote it, they kind of did promote it because come on, every time you hear the Undertaker's gone, I mean, you don't need to say anything else. That's promotion right there. So him coming out and cutting that promo at the end, that like there's always an older, wiser badass, and you're not the ultimate badass to Braun Breaker, which I thought was entertaining. On the AEW side, I mean, there were a lot of questionable booking decisions as far as their women's title and their international title goes, and I really don't think that main event match of Edge, I mean, Luchasaurus. I don't think that was even though it was his first match, and they're trying to tell this story between him and Christian. I just feel like he should have had a better opponent than Luchasaurus. If he had a better opponent, I feel like that main event match could have been a lot better. But overall, after watching both shows back, I mean, NXT definitely to me won the night. Simple as that.
Yeah. I think the fact that they were both shows were hyping it up, and obviously, NXT didn't pull out all the stop and announcing everybody from even teasing the Undertaker as well. It's like they pulled out all the bells and whistles to make sure that everybody had their eyes on NXT, and I think they kind of did that to me, where I was just like, I want to check this out, and I was like, yeah, NXT, AEW, Title Tuesday, which is always, seeing title matches is a spectacle in itself. But it was like, I think for me, I didn't expect too many title changes, and they were, like Brian said, a couple of questionable. Like, really, like, I don't know, just like Saraya's title reign, Rey Fenix's title reign. It's like, very short reigns, and it's just like, I don't know. And it just shows where, like, one company's more story driven, the other one's more just like match driven, I guess, and more just, I think AEW is more just like, again, I've said, like, more just about putting great matches on. Yes, they'll have a couple core main stories. Obviously, right now, the whole Christian Edge thing, which, yeah, Luchasaurus was Edge, just giving him like a big scary opponent. Probably would have been better if it was like Edge versus Christian, but obviously they're gonna save that for like a bigger event, which is obviously gonna. I feel like that's gonna be the match that everybody's gonna have their eyes on. But I think then again, also with them just being on Tuesday, it's like Tuesdays is NXT's night. So you're gonna have who you're gonna have everybody who's gonna be like, hey, Tuesday's NXT. If you're not like closely watching, like, oh, AEW's on Tuesdays right now, it's just like I think it's either way, more people are gonna be on NXT, and obviously from the ratings that came out, I think it shows. But obviously more eyes, and we've seen this before, like when Becky was on NXT having those matches, brought all those eyes onto there, and you're gonna throw Cena, Cody, Heyman, Asuka,
LA Knight.
Of course, they're gonna come out with great, huge numbers. But I don't think that's a detriment to AEW. I feel like if AEW would have had this on Dynamite, I think it still would have been like a great night. So yeah, it was fun for what it is. I don't know if this should be a regular thing, because I think just the whole going back and forth is too much for people, especially people who aren't.
There's too much wrestling. There's too much wrestling.
I was trying, man, but
and this and that. It's just like you either pick one and watch the other one later, or vice versa. So, and that's what I did. But definitely great shows, great showing. Definitely on NXT, great matches on AEW. So I mean, both shows put on hell of a shows, and I can't complain. It's all great wrestling. Obviously, I think, like Brian said, NXT was, for me, the better show. I think the only question about NXT right now is, like, when are we going to get some call-ups? I feel like it's been a while since anybody has been called up. We didn't get anything this year.
There was, so sorry to interrupt, Louis, but there was one unofficial call-up. I guess apparently now,
Dragon
Lee was on SmackDown. So,
which I thought was just like a one random match on SmackDown, but apparently, I don't know. I hope he doesn't get like a Sin Cara treatment, or
I was just about to say that.
like, oh, let's take his mask off. It's just like, you gotta let the luchadors, like, still let them be characters. It's like you have Rey Mysterio, let somebody else kind of do their own thing, but hopefully it's a different story with him. But I think that's my other thing is NXT, like, it's developmental, and I don't know, maybe 2.0 kind of brought it down a bit, but now it's kind of on the up and up. And especially after No Mercy, which I thought was amazing. I'm just like, when is Carmelo Hayes going up? When is Braun Breaker finally going to go up? Even, what's her name, Tiffany Stratton, is starting to make her moves and everything. It's like, when are we going to get some of these new characters in the main roster? I hope it's not all the way until WrestleMania this coming year. I just feel like, but who knows? I don't know what their plans are right now, so we'll see.
Yeah, man. My perspective, of course, I'm gonna go NXT. Of course, I like the presentation of that. I did go back and forth and try to go back and forth throughout the night. Of course, Asuka and Roxanne Perez match was a little shorter, so I was able to see the end of Daniel Bryanson and Swerve Strickland. So I was able
a great match.
Yeah, I was able to go back and see that and see a couple of matches there. In terms of what NXT did, of course, I'm a WWE guy on the show. I'm going to openly say that. I just like their presentation better and what they were able to do. Even the 6-man tag with Butch and Tyler Bate and those guys against Gallus. That was entertaining, at least a little hard in it. Impact. I thought, as Brian alluded to, with the legends and the upper card guys, the main roster guys like John Cena, LA Knight, Asuka, they actually used them throughout the night to be next to a younger star, give them the rub, give them that. So I thought that was a good addition to that. And of course, the Undertaker at the end, the surprise of LA Knight and stuff like that. So I think they used everybody pretty well. And as what Lewis was talking about, hopefully getting some call-ups, I think Braun Breaker kind of has nowhere to go on this one, right? Like, when you look at his trajectory, he's lost to Baron Corbin, he's lost to Carmelo Hayes to get a NXT title shot. It's like he kind of has to. He's the one guy that I think that deserves to be called up. As for AEW side, of course, they had some good matches there. Of course, Sharita winning the AEW.
Yeah, that's another name to the list.
I'll get it sometime.
I have to correct you on that because you said a black girl's name and she's Asian, so you got to correct that. Sheeta.
What did you say, Shira?
Shira, yeah, you said like Shira or something.
I thought I said Sharita.
Sharita. That's it. Exactly.
Hey, Sharita, where you at?
Yeah. Sheeta, yes. She's
now a 3-time AEW Women's Champion before I was rudely interrupted. I thought the booking of that was weird because Saraya just won in the UK, just won the title. So it's like you didn't really build anything up between her and Toni Storm or anything like that. And it's like, what's really happening with that? And it's like, that I feel like that title should still be on.
And you have a title Tuesday without the TBS title. I just don't get
on TBS. Yes,
I feel
on TBS exactly.
Yeah, and just all that stuff like that, and just like Orange Cassidy against Rey Fenix. It's like Rey Fenix just won the title. You know what I mean? So it's like.
Oh, wait! Before you continue, I did see a report that the reason why they took the title off of Phoenix is because we know initially he wasn't supposed to win because Moxley got concussed during the match.
Yeah.
And the reason why he wasn't going to win was because I guess apparently he's having work visa issues, so obviously he can't hold the international title, so that's why they went back to Orange Cassidy. At least that's what the report said.
That kind of makes sense. Because if they're going international, like
exactly.
You gotta
take care of that.
Yeah, that's wild. Like it's just like it just shows you, to me, what I was saying in the chat earlier. It just shows that WWE doesn't have to put on their best show, right? Like WWE can put on an average show and people are still going to show up and watch. AEW can't have stinkers, can't have mess ups, can't have questionable booking because at the end of the day, it's like WWE can afford those missteps. And I don't feel like AEW can afford those right now, especially the way Tony Khan has been going on the past week, promoting this week in, week out, and for the past 2 weeks, how he's been going at Vince, he's been going at Shawn Michaels, he's been going at Triple H, he's been going at everything. And it's just like, for you to do that and then to sit there and say, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to beat them and we're going to do all this other stuff, and acknowledging the competition between WWE and AEW. And I'll say this about AEW. They did get WWE to react, right? Like they did get WWE to be like, hey, we're going to send our stars here. We're going to start doing this X, Y, Z to promote this show and show, hey, there's a different level of this. But it's like you guys really only really did that because, of course, what Brian said last week was the
TV rights negotiations.
The TV rights negotiations.
And maintaining their momentum. Yeah.
and trying to maintain that momentum, raise up the asking price, of course. So when you do that, obviously we knew that you guys were doing that, obviously, to compete with AEW. So we can't ignore that anymore. But just on the flip side of what Tony Khan has been doing, he just looks bad in this situation to me. Of course, everybody, like, he just looks horrible, going at people, calling Triple H and Shawn Michaels bald assholes, bringing up the Vince allegation.
Did he call him that, though?
I mean, he shared the. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He shared the photo, and obviously, everyone's always going to misinterpret it. So it seems
how else are we supposed to interpret it? Who else is bald? Stone Cold? Like, he wasn't going to ask Stone Cold. Stone Cold wasn't advertised. Stone Cold wasn't advertised. Who else was he going?
Adam Pearce.
AP Scrap Daddy. That's who he was going at. My bad. But it just. But yeah, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you finish because I might.
But yeah, I just feel like he just looks. I just feel like Tony Khan just looks bad in this situation, and he's kind of playing that. Hey, they're supposed to do that, and we ended the streak of this and that, and just playing semantics. And it's like you lost by 300,000 viewers. If we're going to get technical in the demographic and the ratings and stuff like that, you lost by 300,000 viewers.
And in the demographic that they claim that they control over WWE, that 18 to 49 demographic, WWE beat them by what was it, 0.04?
It just goes to show you, it's like it isn't like those 900,000 other people were going to turn around and go watch AEW, and then you guys are going to break 1 million. Like, that's not necessarily true. So
this is what I'm saying. It's like, it was Tuesday's NXT's night, so it's like, people who are going to watch NXT and then you got, we're going to bring Cena and all these people. And then it's like, now everybody's like, okay, let's check out NXT. I feel like because it's their night, on top of bringing in all these people, everybody's going to come in and tune in. And yes, I don't know. I feel like Tony Khan needs to lay off Twitter. But I can kind of understand his side, but maybe just the way he's going about it isn't the right way. Like, yes, you can be like, hey, we're going to have a killer show. We're going to kill it. Tune in. Yeah. You're not going to want to miss this, blah, 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 blah. But to I get it. It's competition. Maybe WWE is like, y'all ain't competition, but hey, we're still going to show out because obviously that's what they did. But I don't know. It does make him look bad when he's just like, don't start beefs that like nobody's even like coming at you for or whatever. Right? Like, you came over to Tuesdays and want to be like, hey, we're gonna have a huge show. We're gonna show out, and they're like, we can easily show out and let's bring everybody. So I get it. Healthy competition is fine, but you don't have to go full blown over like, we're gonna kick your ass or we're gonna destroy you, and this, and it's just like, it's like, all right, you're pushing a little too hard,
Arguing with fans on Twitter. Oh, my bad, X.
Sorry, X.
And doing all that stuff, and it's just like, what are you doing?
So you guys remember October 2nd, 2019, right? That was the date that Dynamite debuted. And I think they got about 1.4 million in viewership. Now, it's been 5 years since Dynamite has existed. They haven't touched that number since. All right. Now, and I don't know how many weeks initially that AEW and NXT were going head to head on Wednesday night, but it obviously got to a point where WWE said, okay, this isn't helping NXT. Let's go to Tuesday. When they made that decision, who was the one on social media celebrating victory and teasing WWE for making them move? That would happen to be Tony Khan. That would happen to be that would happen to be Tony Khan. So when Title Tuesday got announced, I wonder. I know, Daniel, you and I talked about it last week about how WWE is now starting to see AEW as competition, and it triggered them to stack NXT the way that they did. But I wonder if they looked at the track record between them going head to head on Wednesday and literally looked at it and said, Well, they beat us because their A team was up against our C team, D team. So if we're going to match that A team, we need to bring some of our A team stars down, which included Cena, Oscar, Cody Rhodes, and I think, and although I do think that NXT OD'd overdid it on booking the show, that they didn't need to. I really do think they were trying to make the point. They're like, yo, if we go 18 for 18. Pardon my French, but AEW, you guys can't fuck with us if we go 18. I think you guys can't deal with us, and that's what they were trying to show. And I think it was Nick Hausman who's a reporter who put out the report that Triple H and Shawn Michaels were going to use this NXT to send a message to AEW. And then Tony Khan went on Twitter, responded to that unsubstantiated report, and then that's when he tweeted out the photo of bald asshole, and which people interpreted he was talking about Triple H. So then the show happens, they lose, and the man goes on Twitter acting like a petulant child. And the man, like, you got your ass whooped. Take the ass whooping, learn from it, and get better. Remember, been around for 5 years. We can go out into the community right now and say the term WWE, and people will bring up the 80s and talk about Hulk Hogan and Warrior. They may talk about the Attitude Era or Austin and Rock. Hell, some people may even talk about John Cena. But WWE is intertwined in society. If you ask those same people what AEW is, they'll say, "What the hell is that?" So it's only been 5 years. So I don't know why you guys thought after 5 years you guys were suddenly starting to take over WWE just because you guys had a brilliant $80,000 fan show over in the UK. Which honestly, in my opinion, you guys only got because the UK is just starving for wrestling. And anytime an American promotion goes over there, no matter where it is, it sells out every time because they love their wrestling over there. So for him to be going on Twitter, acting like a child, acting out, and then the one tweet that pissed me off is when he mentioned John Cena and The Undertaker, talking about this is the first time they've been on a show that was below a million. That to me was just ridiculous. Because now it shows that you really are butthurt that they kicked your ass, and now you're trying to find every excuse to try to come up with to kind of cover up for it.
Yeah, and if anything, he should have never said anything afterwards, like you said.
And if I'm Chris Jericho, if I'm Moxley, if I'm Bryan Danielson, Adam Copeland, some of these guys that were in WWE, I really hope they all reached out to him and said, like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you on Twitter acting like this? That's not the way to go about it. Talking to random fans who are just like us who make comments, and then to talk about Vince McMahon and his allegations and all that stuff. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I think I told you in the chat that secretly I kind of hoped that NXT was going to obliterate them because I just wanted to show like you said that there's levels to it. Before the shows even started, when NXT had announced that they were going to start 30 minutes before. That commercial, the first 30 minutes of the show was going to be commercial free. When John comes out and says, "Oh, really? Well, our show is going to be 30 minutes free, and we're going to have a 7:30 pre-show with a title match between Eddie Kingston and Minoru Suzuki." Now I don't know how many people watched that match, but it was, I guess apparently it was on their YouTube page and their Facebook. Yeah. And I'm like, how are you going to steal viewers? It's going to be on YouTube because as a fan, I can watch that match until 8 and then go watch NXT. Unless the match itself, unless the pre-show was actually on TBS itself, then it didn't make any sense for you to have that pre-show match, because I'm sure a lot of people watched it and then went to go watch NXT. And then just because WWE is strategizing by having a 30 minutes commercial free, and then you want to get in your emotions about it. I mean, this is what AEW wanted, right? You wanted them to start taking you seriously, right? I mean, you got it all in your feelings when Triple H referred to you as a secondary promotion, or when Triple H said that you guys beat our developmental, good for you, right? So now they look at you as such and treating you as such and beating your ass as such. Now you feel some type of way about it. So it's the whole situation is just hilarious.
I said when we first started the show that they were going to be very Impact TNA, when TNA was early days and they were going there and they had a couple of those WWF stars at the time, like Road Dogg and K-Quick and all these other guys, and they would constantly take shots at WWE, and it didn't do anything for them. Yeah. And I think we've reached a point, especially with Tony Khan, where it's like your shots aren't doing anything. It's actually hurting you, and it's going to start hurting him because we saw in the viewership. And that's not the end all be all because, again, I think certain spots of AEW was pretty good. But it's like, as I said again, WWE can afford to misstep, can afford to mess up. AEW, especially with Tony Khan, yapping at the mouth, going after people on X and all these other stuff and all these antics and stuff like that. It's like, and then you lose and then you continue. It's like you're not helping your product. You know what I mean? And I think it comes to a point where AEW shouldn't even be trying to compete with WWE. It shouldn't even acknowledge WWE. That's how bad it is that, as Brian said, their A show, AEW, went up against the minor leagues of WWE. You know what I mean? Like, and WWE showed that they can showcase their young talent, can showcase their legends, can showcase their stars right now, like LA Knight. Dominic Mysterio had a good match with Ilya Dragunov. Like, all that stuff that's happened, it's like there's so much versatility that WWE can pull from where AEW can't. You know, like AEW is maximizing all their resources and they can't pull from another place. They can't. Even with Adam Copeland, even with Edge, Adam Copeland. Even when you're signing him on a night that was his debut in the company, you couldn't pull it together to make it monumental. Like, is anybody really talking about the Edge match? We're 2 days from that. Is anybody talking about the Edge match? No. I've seen people talk about the MJF quarter situation, which was pretty bad. With everything going on.
And I'm so glad you brought that up. You would think that Tony Khan was spending all his time talking about the fact that he got his ass whooped and trying to defend it. You would think that he would be on X trying to diffuse the whole
that situation, that scene.
I've seen MJF try to defend it multiple times, but you would think a business owner would be more focused on trying to quiet down the noise on that.
Have any bad press?
Talking about a head-to-head that he lost.
So, like, people are talking about that, the Christian promo. Like, I don't see many people talking about Edge's match with Luchasaurus, which was the main event, which is the debut of a Hall of Famer in WWE. Edge, that all the star power who we love, who made the GOAT bracket, by the way.
Yes.
And no one's talking about it. No one's talking.
I mean, it was just a debut match. And that's why I think that shouldn't have been their main event. Like, I feel like, I mean, yeah, I guess, you know, it's a Dynamite.
They should have saved it. They should have saved it.
I was more hyped for the Swerve Daniel Bryan match.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's a match we haven't seen in, like, on live TV. I'm sure they probably wrestled each other, but it's like the chemistry I saw between them was crazy. I was like, okay, Swerve got these moves and everything, and I
wanted Swerve to win because I feel like he should be taking that next step. But
same, I feel like he's definitely getting a shot, and it's just like, yeah, I think, you know, after all the controversy and stuff with like the Punk stuff and the press and everybody, you know, just talking about the drama, and then here comes Tony. Just adding more to it, and it's just like, dude, just like Dan said, it's like there's no need to keep like trying to brag and we're the biggest promotion in the world, you know. And I get it, yeah, you should be proud of your product and showcasing it and be like, look, these are the numbers we're doing, this is what we're doing, we're the alternative, blah blah blah. But just like focus on that. You don't have to keep focusing on trying to one up the competition nonstop. Yeah, they've minimally acknowledged you guys in very small ways. That's not deemed for you to come out like, we're going to destroy you. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. They don't know what they're talking about. This is bullshit lies. And when you lose, and it's just like, especially because he's the president. He's the one running creative. It's like, out of all people, he should be the last one doing all this. You don't see Vince, Triple H, anybody who's up in upper management going on Twitter and just like responding to comments. It's like they have people that run their fucking accounts. Maybe it might be time for him to hang up that account because it's not necessary, you know. And it's like you can brag about your company as much as you want and about the product you're putting out, but don't make this into some stupid feud that's just bringing down your product instead of like people like, look, you look stupid now. Like
he's not in the position to do that. That's the thing. You're not in a position to do that. When you were facing NXT on Wednesdays, that was the perfect time to do that and be like, hey, we're better than NXT. Hey, we're building up steam. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, now you're going up against NXT on a Tuesday, which is not normally what happens. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like that was a time to try to show, hey, we're better than NXT. We're better than W. Because now it's the complete opposite. You're not better than NXT. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's bad.
If it was a regular NXT night, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Like you would have had a better chance. Like, okay, like whatever. But now they add their stars. They bring more eye power to it. That didn't like as I said earlier. AEW maximized every pull that they can have. Like you had Edge in your main event. That was the drawing power. You had MJF on the card. You had other people on the card and stuff like that. And it couldn't draw anybody else to your product. You couldn't draw from anyone.
I don't think they pulled everything out because it's not like you had an MJF match. You don't got a lot of people are also injured too. You got Mox is out. You got Adam Cole's out.
Yeah.
So this is the worst time.
Exactly. Like yo, your top guys you're down. A lot of your A team isn't gonna be there. So when you
this should be mainly focusing on building your either next champs, which like you're doing the stuff with Jay White, or like it's just like I don't know. It's like I get it, they're not story driven, but like you gotta start building up these like and this is what I don't get, where like AEW like you had the longest thing with like Hangman and Page like literally for a year trying to get after the title, and then he did it, and then you guys didn't do anything with it. It's just like, why is it like you get these like long story booking things and then you don't do shit with it? Now it's just all these like short, this was supposed to happen. Now let's put the title on this guy, let's put the title on that guy, let's put the title on this. It's just like you guys have all these titles and like only like 2 or 3 actually mean something. It's probably the international, the tag titles, and the AEW title.
Mm-hmm. My thing is, if they were going to talk about the AEW's title situation, I want to go straight into the women's title and how Shida winning made no sense. You're the hardest woman in your division right now is Toni Storm. This new character that she's adopted of Timeless Toni, which is kind of like to me is a Marilyn Monroe-esque character, is brilliant. Her character work on it has been completely flawless. I think during the show they had like these little silent picture in picture, which I actually for once was actually watching something in picture in picture, and it was very entertaining. And then you had her run out and go during the title match and attack Ruby Soho, which clearly shows that she's a face now, attacking Ruby with the shoe. So if you were gonna make a title change, why not go Toni Storm? You already got the story right there that she was in the Outcast and then she became Timeless Toni. You could have continued to telling that story if you wanted to make a title switch and by putting the title back on Toni Storm, seeing that she's your hottest female.
And so that's another thing. Why not build that feud up? Like have Shida lose, and then have
you just start. You just build up, and like
it's right there. It's right there. So
it's like I think they're trying to do that, but they're trying to do it without the title, and it's just like you need the title in that situation because you don't have a top program in your women's division right now.
And that's another thing too. We know Saraya's injury history. We know her problems with injury and stuff like that. It's like you don't know how many chances you're going to get at that, right? Like realistically speaking, anything can happen, God forbid. But it's like any type of injury or anything like that. It's like, why not use that time and use her wisely to build up Toni Storm?
Yeah,
and have a better feud for your product. I just don't know. Again, the booking decisions, especially with even Swerve earlier in the night. Swerve got the big win against Hangman Page in Seattle at Wrestle Dream. So why you kill his momentum
I mean,
because
obviously they're gonna have
because that TNT title match is gonna be the main event of Collision, and they probably thought Bryan Danielson and Christian, because they're trying with Collision, even though Collision is essentially dead since Punk got fired. But they're really trying to make it for Collision, even with that viral photo that's going around of the attendance at Collision after Ricky Starks and Big Bill won the tag team titles.
They beat FTR.
Yes.
Yeah, they beat FTR in literally like 3 or 4 minutes, because I think Cash Wheeler is actually hurt, so they had to give up the titles. But yeah, it was a quick 3 or 4 minutes.
Just have them forfeit it.
No, like the Macho Man said, win them in the ring, lose them in the ring, right?
And create more
just have them
injury.
forfeit it.
But back to the Swerve thing. It's like the Swerve thing kind of makes sense, because obviously, they screwed Hangman for him to get the win. So obviously he's gonna screw him again. So that in itself actually makes sense to me.
Story,
I would have. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're saving Swerve for like main event, not the TNT championship. So maybe they'll end up putting it on Bryan Danielson and just give him something to run with. Yeah, exactly. So I feel like Swerve is definitely getting to a point where he's gonna, we got Joe still kind of, I guess, going after the title again at some point, maybe after Jay White, with those vignettes and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know where. And I feel like AEW is more in this field of just like, we don't know where the hell they're going half the time. It's just like, boom, here's another match. Boom, here's another match. Oh, here's a title match. Oh, look, this person just won the title. It's like, where the fuck does any of this come from? It's just like
very, very WCW 1999.
But that's the thing. I don't know. I wasn't in a time where I watched enough WCW to see all their booking decisions, so I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, they're exactly like that. I see them as like, yeah, hey, this is a company that literally booking decisions.
That's exactly what it was.
That's the epitome of WCW's booking decisions. Let's just do
shit just to do it. Check out Wrestling Bios. He goes over it like late 90s.
Yeah. I follow him. I know who you're talking about.
Wrestling with Regret does a good show on it. Like, he just goes through like the 1999 pay-per-views, and he's like, what the AEW isn't there yet with that type of booking, but you can see shades and pieces of it, and it's like,
I feel like right now, every time that the just flipping title is literally due to injuries. It's like, oh shit, hey, this dude just shattered his ankle. Just give the other dude the title, and then we'll take care of it later. It's like,
because they dug themselves a hole with the interim.
They
dug themselves a hole with the whole interim. They dug themselves a hole with the whole interim championship thing.
Yeah, I hated the stuff.
And Louis, it's funny you say that. What happened to the X? I guess that referee that did that Moxley and Phoenix match, I think he's currently suspended right now because he didn't handle that shit correctly. So when Mox got concussed early in that match, the match should have been stopped after that.
Oh yeah, and everybody saw it. I was watching that match and I was like, this dude literally can't stand on his own 2 legs right now.
Yeah, so the match
somehow came out of it, and the dude never, like, no ref ever came in. Like, hey, you good, sir? Like, maybe for a second,
nobody from the back came out and was like, hey,
I don't think he's selling right now.
I think he's fucked up. But yeah, just like, again, Tony Khan, just get your just promote your show. Like, just back your show. I'm fine with that. All the extra antics and looking for like little win, like petty wins and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
And
WWE doesn't even acknowledge that.
Yeah, the thing that is sad about is that as wrestling fans, we all want AEW to succeed. We want there to be an alternative to WWE. I mean, all those years when there was no alternative and it was just WWE all the time, WWE's product kind of suffered through those years because of it. They didn't have that alternative to kind of, I guess, push them in
the Cena years,
the John Cena years, and such. So we want AEW to succeed, but when the president of the company, acts in this nature, it makes you look at them sideways and say, "Do I really want to watch this program? This is how he's going to act." So it's like Tony, take your ass whooping, learn from it, and just continue to grow your company moving forward.
I don't know, man. I feel like AEW is getting maximized. They're getting squeezed. They're getting squeezed, man.
I don't know.
They got to figure out something. It's just got to be consistency. That's all I'm looking for.
That's honestly all it has to be, because it's just like you can't keep going off. Hey, we got this new signing. It's like, okay.
In the beginning, during COVID, that pretty much was their build to everything.
If anything, they need to learn from WWE and look at how great NXT was when they signed all those indie wrestlers. When they signed all the Samoa Joes, the Adam Coles, the freaking Undisputed Era, everybody that came in, and they put on a hell of fucking shows. Everybody was watching every single takeover. I was.
And what you just said was perfect. That should be their blueprint with their product.
Yep.
Because NXT was outperforming Raw and SmackDown. It was. Every week, I was watching NXT more than I was watching Raw and SmackDown.
Yep. Easily.
That should be their blueprint. That should be their blueprint. And they have the roster to do it. They have the people to do it. You have the wrestling fan base to do that. That should be your blueprint. That should be it.
MJF claimed in the post press conference of Wrestle Dream that he said that AEW top to bottom has the best professional wrestling roster in all professional wrestling. So you have the talent there, and like you said, use that blueprint, and then you'll have something. But
because I will, and I know we'll probably talk about this, but I'm sorry, AEW's women's division is just like. It's in the crapper. For me, it's just I don't know why they're keeping the women who go after the TBS championship away from the people in the main, going after the main AEW Women's Championship, and it's just like, why is there this disparity? Like, oh, these are the top women, these are the lower women, and it's like you only see the TBS title on Dynamite and Collision sometimes, and it's just like. I don't understand where this disparity is on your level of using your female wrestlers. You brought in all these women. You brought in Ruby Soho. You brought in Saraya and tiny ass title reign. Toni Storm. All these people. Toni Storm's doing great, but it's just like, why isn't Ruby Soho got a title reign? I feel like she should have been the blueprint for somebody who is underutilized and has a great following, and they did nothing with her. It's just like.
And why not give the Outcast? You have Saraya with the women's title, have Ruby Soho with the TBS title, and have them say, "Hey, we run the women's division," and have them just run Ruckshaw over everybody.
That would be not complicated. Yeah, because the division is in shambles. They lost Jade. Britt Baker is taking time off right now. Thunder Rosa has been hurt for a year and some change. We never know if she's ever come back. I think at this point, I think her career is over. No, because I think she got a really serious
back injury. It's a back injury.
I think her career is over, because if she was coming back, she would have been back by now. It's been a year and a half or so, or whatever. And I know she's been doing Spanish commentary for them. So maybe she's found a nick with that so that she doesn't have to wrestle. But she was a top 5 talent for them. I mean, as much as Chris Statlander has been elevating the TBS title, they need her going after the AEW World title.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, So the women's division is in shambles, and obviously this booking, putting the title back on Shida. I know she's tremendous. She was the women's champion during the pandemic and such. But the fact that she's a 3-time champion right now says everything.
It's like why I didn't even see her last title reign. I didn't even see it whatsoever.
No, my whole thing is that I'm fine with her winning the belt. But make it mean something. This is a throwaway Tuesday night for you guys that you guys are trying to promote. Hey, we're epic, we're doing something, but we know that you only did that to create some type of buzz, and you're not going to do anything with her. So it's if you guys don't do anything with her, and again, what Brian said, that's taken away from Saraya, Toni Storm. It's what happens with them? It's just a clusterfuck. It's a clusterfuck, man. It's a clusterfuck. But long story short, Tony Khan, get your shit together, man. And obviously, you're a billionaire. You can probably don't give 2 shits about what we say, but it's
Oh no! He does give two shits about what we say. He goes head to head with these fucking wrestling fans on Twitter.
I just have to go on Twitter and attack him that way.
Yeah, exactly. Just go on Twitter, tag him in something, say something disrespectful. He'll reply, and then take a shot at somebody in WWE in the process. So he knows what we're saying.
That's my science project for the weekend. Tag Tony Khan on Saturday. Like, is anybody really going to watch AEW Collision? And I'm going to.
Dude, I never catch Collision. I never catch Collision.
Never. I'm supposed to treating Collision like Rampage now because I gave up on Rampage once I realized they tape it after. It's only an hour. Unless there's like a really something really special going on, maybe I'll catch it. But
it's Velocity and Sunday Night Heat.
Velocity. Oh man.
Velocity. Dude, I used to get so excited. I'd be like,
that's what Rampage is now.
There's
Rampage
WWE on Saturdays. What? And I'm like, oh, this is what this is.
I used to watch it. I used to watch
Sunday Night Heat too.
It used to be on Saturday. Yep. Velocity used to be on Saturday.
I actually like Sunday Night Heat though.
Sunday Night Heat was good.
Those recaps on Sunday Night Heat were good. I like Sunday
because Sunday Night Heat was right before pay-per-views.
Yeah,
so you used to get a little bit of a preview, and then if my mom didn't order the pay-per-view, you can at least see something going on before the pay-per-view shit. So there's that. But Tony Khan, long story short, man, treat your company better, man. We can get into Fastlane reaction, which had a bunch of things happening on it. Let's get into it. The Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. What do you guys think about that match?
The wrong titles changed that night. That's what I
was so conflicted about this match result. Well, first of all, the match itself was done brilliantly. If you want to talk about in terms of storytelling with the whole Judgment Day versus the foursome of Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Sammy and Kevin. Storytelling wise, it was done perfectly with JD McDonough hitting Priest with the briefcase, and then at first when I saw them win the tag team titles, I was just like, damn, I didn't want Cody's first title win per se to be these tag team titles. But then I had to stop and think, them winning the tag team titles, you know what that means? Well, we get Cody and Jay technically can go on SmackDown now. So if you want to continue telling this bloodline storyline with Jey Uso and Cody possibly facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and Jay and Jimmy, I mean now if they're tag team champions, you want to continue telling this story. Having them on obviously is going to be a great benefit. And in Judgment Day, I actually thought, okay, they lose the tag team titles, we're going to get a cash in tonight. But then they did that little promo right before the main event where Priest's hands and said, "Not tonight, because you're still hurting."
That would have been the perfect moment for it.
Yeah, I think everybody saw it too. As soon as they lost they said, "Okay, Priest is cashing in tonight." He's definitely cashing in tonight.
That was the first thing I thought when the titles changed hands.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I was like, Shinsuke's a dead man. No. No.
I was like, my prediction is true. He's going to win and then lose. He's going to get a shortest title reign ever.
No. But, what Brian said, like, I just felt like I do wonder, like, people said like in the WWE page on Instagram, I was like, I don't like this. And then they were like, hey, this allows Jay and Cody to go to SmackDown and have this. And I'm like, I get that, but we're getting this bloodline storyline drawn out, and I'm just like, I don't necessarily want to see that, and especially hurting the Judgment Day and doing that, with them not having the tag titles. It's like, I don't know if I want to see that as well. The match was great. I love the match. I love the interaction with Uso and Rhea Ripley. I love that. I love the banter. I love the antics of it. I love the mind games of JD McDonough hitting Damian Priest, creating that friction between them as well. I love the post interview between these guys with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
They were the first match of the night, so they were hammered at the post conference.
Yeah.
You could tell. I was like, "Yo, they are hammered, man. They are hammered."
Yeah, I love that too.
Hey,
and
nice drink
I love
after work,
their
right?
tag team finish, kind of taking the 1D and Cody using the Cody cutter. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That's a great tag team finish. So, and we're gonna see. This means we're gonna get more Cody and Jay on SmackDown. I mean, it can be a positive, it can be a pro, but it can be a con too. Because I mean, if they're going to be on SmackDown now, eventually we're going to have to get Jimmy and Jay having that first confrontation. And
my thing is just like, why? Okay, I get the whole Cody going back to SmackDown. That makes sense. But it's like, you just brought Jay to Raw. Why does he need to go back to SmackDown?
Because the brothers need each other, man.
Not right
they
now.
need each other.
Not right now. They need to
show.
Honestly, for me, they need to stay away from each other until WrestleMania season starts. I feel like that should be their final, at least for them, because it's like you finally will have brother versus brother, which has never happened between them before, you know. And I feel like they've been together for so long. That is a WrestleMania match in itself, and you could easily build up Jimmy as the heel and Jay as the baby face. It's just like, I feel like that writes itself.
It doesn't need much work.
I mean, I get it. If it's gonna be a whole war game, which I did see is confirmed that War Games is coming for Survivor Series, which yes, and I saw somebody that I watch on YouTube, like, he read my mind. I was like, if they got War Games and they got William Regal.
And he doesn't need no special guests. He doesn't need any special guests. Like, he doesn't, like, William Regal's gonna be here tonight. He should just come out when they're battling.
Exactly.
And
just play his
come
music.
Out on stage.
Just play his music and have him come out, because everybody knows what he's gonna say. And then that's it.
Or even Triple H comes out, or even isn't Triple H coming out this Friday?
This Friday,
yeah.
He needs to be like, I need to introduce this man, and he has an announcement, and it's just William Regal walks out and just says, "War Games." I'm like, that's all I need, and my life will be complete. I just need that, but I don't know. I don't need Jay on SmackDown right now. I feel like they need to. That's why I'm like, dude, why do they need to build his own story
and have Jimmy build his own story and then come together?
Exactly.
That's what they need.
Yeah, but did Jimmy actually have his own story right now?
Well, he's acting like the tribal chief right now, you know. I feel like Reigns is gonna like smack him around for a bit and be like, "Bro, you betrayed me, and now you're trying to come back and act like you're still here." You know, like it.
And then
it kind of rebuilds that story a little bit, but I don't know.
I mean, if there's one thing that I see that can come out of this, like, Cody Rhodes and Jay can face other tag teams and hopefully showcase other tag teams in the division that we need to see, because it's been
Street
Kevin
Profits
Owens
and stuff.
Yeah, it's been Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. It's been the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor. It has been those two for the longest time with the tag.
Like a year.
And it's like, let's start showcasing some other tag teams like the Street Profits, the LWO, Butch, the Fighting Brutes, those guys. Like, get other people involved, and I feel like that's maybe a way they can build those guys throughout the fall. And then when the tag team titles need to come off Cody Rhodes and Jay, they can drop it to somebody who is legitimate and a legitimate threat, and hopefully can carry those tag titles into the next, building the next tag division.
You know what I hope, since Cody has these titles, and since Cody is the man with the powers, he needs to ununify those titles and just bring in the new titles ASAP. Please. I've been waiting so long. I just want a tag team division.
Yeah, they have no plan. They have no plan for those tag team titles, because right now they look at them. All right, these tag team titles are the gateway to be on both shows. So let's just keep them that way for the time being. And whatever we want on both shows.
The most unappealing titles. How is it you have redone the IC, the US, both championships, but you don't redo these They don't even look shiny. They're literally faded tag titles, bro. They look like some steel that has been scratched up by a 12-year-old, like who's been dragging them everywhere.
Trash can lids.
Yes. And I'm like,
Trash
bro,
can lids?
what
they need to do
is
something.
taking so long?
They need to do
I
something.
don't know.
And I'm sorry, having a wrestler with 2 belts that has tag titles, I don't like it. I don't like it at
all.
It's like
yo, Roman Reigns was unified champion, and you gave him a new title. And granted, that's Roman. I mean, 3-year title reign. That's one thing. Yeah, but these tag team titles have been this way since what? Since what they were first introduced.
Like 17.
When they initially did the Serious brand split, and each show had their own tag team titles. So that was like what 2016. They've looked like these.
But why can't they get the tag titles correctly? I remember the tag team titles back in the day weren't that bad. They had the copper helmet warrior tag titles, and I'm like, I don't like those. And then they went to these silver ones. I'm like, why can't you guys get the tag titles right? It's just why. It shouldn't be that hard. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I just don't like the Judgment Day looking weak right now. I know they're trying to build that story with JD McDonough and Damian Priest and how they're trying to build that, but it's just like I don't like them losing the titles. I don't.
My thing is where are they going from here? It's like
they're going heel Drew McIntyre.
What, to just win the title, I guess?
That's where they're going.
As far as the Judgment Day goes, where do they go from here? It's gonna be continued back and forth with Cody, Jay, Sammy, and Kevin until next month. War Games. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a booking decision to have Cody and Jay lose the titles in like 3 weeks on a random episode of Raw back to the Judgment Day. Like, I can picture them doing that and then having that serve as the catalyst for War Games. So.
Well, yeah, look,
tag titles don't get defended in War Games.
I'm just saying, them losing the tag team titles, that's what causes the big brawl. Then here comes William Regal. Okay, no, War Games.
Judgment Day has recently, for some reason, been known for losing their titles and getting it right back. Look at Dom. Now look at fucking Judgment Day. It's like, you really tell me they're going to be undisputed tag champs 3 times in a row? It's like, what the fuck are we doing? Why not, I guess.
Why mess with a recipe for success?
Oh, sure. I want new matchups. Is that so hard to do? Like, why is it like the main champs can get new competition? Why is it the tag has to be the same people? I'm sorry, KO and Sammy need to get the hell out of the freaking.
They need to go ahead and be single stars. I need that.
Yeah.
I need that to happen. I just
make that transition. Gunther at some point. Like, come on, something.
But yeah, man, we can make the transition to the next match of the night, the LWO versus
this shit.
Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
I felt indifferent about this match.
Essentially,
so did I. But
essentially a handicap match, kind of like the Outsiders versus Sting.
I don't know why this match started like this. It made no sense.
Whoever booked this was wrong.
If anything, they should have got disqualified because it's like the match started. And, hey, my tag partner is now here.
I'm just saying, I don't like the booking of this. And I felt like, I don't know if Carlito was in the best ring shape. I don't know what it was, but he looks jacked when he came out. Why don't you have him at the start of the match? Why isn't he there?
I guess if I can try to defend WWE to try to guess what they were thinking, they probably were thinking, well, one, I mean, I don't know how long ago that they signed him, but they probably thought, well, he's not going to be in there that long, and we can get a bigger pop if he comes out at the tail end of the match and helps them win. Because it started 3-on-2, and somebody has to be coming, right? Someone has to be coming, right? And then here comes Carlito.
If that's the case, it shouldn't have been a 6-man tag. It should have just been a tag match. It should have been.
That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people
it's going to be just take Bobby out. Bobby could have been at the sides, and then Carlito could have came and fought Bobby a bit, gave him the win. But for it to be a handicap match.
They tried to book it like the Outsiders versus Sting, Luger, and Savage at Bash of the Beach at 96. Except Carlito is not Hulk Hogan.
The thing is, I've been reading the reports, and obviously, whether we believe them or not, that's up all going to be up for debate. But apparently, the reports say Carlito, they signed Carlito like months ago. And they hadn't been using him because they were trying to find the right time to actually re-debut him. And why would you pick this time when you're trying to establish Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits as a legitimate threat? I mean, the Street Profits literally dropped the whole cup gimmick and dancing and such, and now are literally switching into this.
And the first PLE they lose.
The first PLE match you put them in against the LWO, you kind of overshadowed that by bringing in Carlito.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Carlito's coming back, so obviously, they have to go over. But at the price, you sacrifice this new gimmick for the Street Profits, which I didn't like. I mean, we're supposed to be taking these guys seriously now. We're supposed to be taking Lashley as serious as we always have.
Yeah.
So didn't like that.
Isn't that their last chance?
They reproved themselves, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't it one of the Street Profits that got pinned too?
Yes. So
all right. So realistically, by story, Lashley should be dropping both of them now on this coming episode of SmackDown. Now, if you want to follow the story, he said prove it. Okay, you attacked the LWO on SmackDown. You took out Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde to make it 3-on-2, but you lost the 6-man match. So realistically, Lashley should be done with them on SmackDown.
Maybe he's gonna drop them for Mello and Trick Williams.
I don't know, because Trick wants to go on his own. It looks like,
and Trick,
he looks like he's
No, Trick needs to be on his own right now because like you said, Lewis, it's the best theme song going in wrestling today, right?
Oh man, Trick. Yeah, that's the best. That theme is hype. But just in general, I'm just like I didn't like that for Carlito because it's like Carlito is a star from that era that we loved, and that era of SmackDown. The whole spinning of the apple. It's like he should have got better than that. And everybody was. First of all, he didn't even have his theme music.
They changed all that right now. I mean, right now he can't do that apple spinning gimmick anymore. Because of COVID and everything. Now he can't do that shit anymore.
Music,
he can still have the same music. He can still have the same music. That's all I'm saying. Like they didn't even have that, and I like the music that he came out to. It wasn't bad, but that's not how we know Carlito.
I think it would have been more. I feel like it would have been more impactful if he would have just. And I don't know, maybe because I feel like he has been wrestling. It's like, come on, you telling me he couldn't have had the full match? Like he couldn't be like, hey,
he's in shape.
Exactly. Like, I don't know who thought like, hey, let's let them wrestle a bit, and he'll come in and save the day. It's like, I don't know. It just that just wasn't the right. It could have been a better debut. It just wasn't. They didn't execute it the right way. And I honestly, like I said, I think most of us picked the Street Profits to win because it's just like
they needed
LW already the baby faces. They could take the loss, but it's like, you don't want Carlito losing. So it was the thing is like, hey, we're bringing this dude in. He can't lose. So we're going to have to make these. So either they have to come back dumb hard, do some heinous shit. I think that's the only way they're bouncing back,
I think the ending goal is to get the United States title back on Lashley. I think that's
they should. They should.
Yeah, and I feel like that would be a good start. But I feel like maybe I don't know. I'm just thinking long term. I mean, maybe Carlito and Santos start butting heads. Or something, because it's like I don't know. I like the LWO, but it's like they need something to do, and I feel like
I'm telling you, Santos needs to be a heel. It needs to happen. I don't know why it's not happening.
That's the longest time. I mean, heel Santos in NXT when it was Legado del Fantasma. That was very entertaining. When he held the Cruiserweight Championship.
He had like that whole cartel vibe to him. It's like that was great.
I thought that's what they were going when they had this one-on-one match for the U.S. title. That we were going to start to slowly see the LWO break it down.
He's giving me Raquel Rodriguez. He's too smiley. He's too happy.
Because after what I saw on Raw with the match that she had with Nia Jax when she came out, I really am getting sick and tired of the fact that because she's a babyface she needs to smile. Like she's a badass. Like we saw what she did in NXT when she was a heel, and just because she's a babyface does not mean she needs to come out all smiley and bubbly and stuff. She can still have that same demeanor as a babyface. Every time I see her come out, I'm just like, yo, stop smiling. We know you. We know you real. We know what you can do. Stop smiling.
I'm fine with the smiling. I'm fine with that, whatever, because it's like you can do that in certain instances. But when the match starts, when she's in a blood feud against the person that just cost her title match, she should be pissed.
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like just simple booking. Like, hey, this lady cost you the title, and it was a good match between her and Nia Jax before everything happened. I liked all the interaction of that happening. I don't know what that's building towards, but it's just like have her be a badass. She's strong as shit. She can beat up people. Like, let her do that. And I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, the LWO Street Profits, we'll see what happens with them in SmackDown because the premiere is on Friday. So we'll definitely be seeing what happens with that. We can move on to I'm satisfied with this match, and I was happy that
me too.
The champion was still the champion.
Yeah.
And the right person got pinned.
Yes.
About damn time.
I've been saying it. I said it. I'm like, they cannot.
Oh, she's gonna take the pin.
They cannot have Io pin Asuka. They can't have that. Charlotte needed to take the pin, and it happened, and I was happy for that. I'm happy for that for Io. I'm happy how the match broke down. I like how Bayley came out and helped her. Because now that's a different layer. But that changes things now. It's like, she actually helped you win, even though Io come out. The flow of the match was good. I felt like there was a couple spots where it was like they kind of trying to figure out what to do, but overall, the right person won. What do you guys think about this match?
I love how the match started with Asuka and the Miz trying to take Charlotte out early. Psychologically, that was perfect. Like, if you're in the triple threat match and you need to take out the opposition so it can be one-on-one, that was perfect. That was perfect storytelling. I love that. But overall, I love the whole structure of the match. I love that Charlotte was the one that got pinned. I definitely think that they need to move forward now with Io and Asuka one-on-one and actually make a feud out of it. Take what you did with the vignettes with Shinsuke and put it into this feud and build it up kind of like MMA style with promo packages between the two of them and move forward with Io and Asuka. That's what I feel should happen.
Yeah.
Overall, it was a great match. The right person won. The right person got pinned. And this was actually, I think, the only match where like everything happened positively the way it should have.
where we were all right on this one. Where we were like,
we all picked the up. I think we all picked the up.
So I thought it was a great match. Same, Charlotte. Kudos for finally taking the damn pin. And I feel like this should definitely be Io Asuka. Use the translations because we got all the emotion from Shinsuke and everything that he was portraying, and it was executed so well. There's no reason why they, English isn't their best and isn't their first language, but they can still get their message out, even with translations. And I think, especially for Asuka, because I feel like a lot of times we don't even all we always hear from Asuka is nobody's ready for Asuka. I feel like there's more levels to it. There's a lot we have never seen or heard. It's like,
I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it right here. They both can speak English.
And one of them has a YouTube channel clearly showing that she speaks it clearly, right?
Is it Asuka?
Yes.
Yeah. Kana-chan TV. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this should definitely be the next feud. I don't. Yeah. Who? I'm trying to think.
I'm sorry, but what do you guys do with Charlotte?
She can go on another vacation and come back whenever she wants. She doesn't need to do anything. Literally,
Is she the Brock Lesnar of the women's division?
Yo, legit. She's the Brock now.
She's probably gonna take another. She's probably gonna take another break to address this situation with Andrade. Oh, are they about to get a divorce or not? I don't know.
I don't always see a ring on that finger, you know.
And he's not all over her Instagram page anymore like how he used to. So
yeah. Hey, he did use the figure 8 recently though. So.
Oh yeah, he did.
I thought I saw a picture of him and Flair together.
Yeah.
So I mean, they might be still cool. I don't know.
Yeah, that's still be cool. Me, he was his tag team partner in Ric Flair's last match. So
that is very true.
And by the way, Ric Flair does say he wants to wrestle again.
We don't need to see that.
Oh God, don't remind me.
I know his goal is to die in the ring, but no, we don't need to see that. But yeah, I feel like this should definitely be transitioning towards a feud between Io and Asuka and Damage Control and her trying to figure that out, because it's like what we said with Shinsuke. I've said for the longest time, like, you can use subtitles. I've said that, like, in this day and age, you can do that. Like, everybody watches anime with subtitles on it. Everybody watches movies with subtitles on it. It's like, plus they can speak English. We saw at the press conference with Io and Taylor Swift, mentioning Taylor Swift and stuff like that. So she can speak English. Like, we don't have to make this more difficult than it is. They have history together. They work well in the ring together. Make it happen. Like, let's not waste that. Let's not waste that at all. We can get into our next match. John Cena, the greatest of all time, LA Knight versus the Bloodline. How do you guys feel about this one?
All right, Luke, you can go first on this one.
Honestly, I honestly wasn't that excited for this match. I'm not gonna lie. Just because I knew what it was, I know what it was gonna do, and it was gonna go the same way we all predicted. You know, it's like you got John Cena, the greatest of all time, which I'm sorry, I'm never gonna call him that. And you got the hottest act in WWE right now against the Bloodline with no Roman Reigns. We all know what's gonna happen. It's just like to me, this is a filler match. Honestly, I didn't really fully watch this match.
Are you saying this is LA Knight, the Miz booking worthy?
Oh,
that far.
Hey, if this was a LA Knight, just like him feud, like him versus like Jimmy, or Solo, I would have been all over this. But it was just like, come on, you got John coming back. We know he's not a full-time wrestler, and LA Knight. This was just like a baby face galore, you know. And everybody knows I'm a huge LA Knight fan. This is just getting him over. Oh, and one thing that we didn't talk about in NXT: why the hell was he the special guest referee in that match?
I have no idea.
No.
Add more value to the show by taking your heart. Remember, that was an NXT title match with Dragunov and the North American champion. So you already had title against title. So
when you tweet LA Knights, LA Knights on NXT, that brings in viewers.
Yeah. No, I know, but I feel like they should have just used him in another way. Like, the man was in NXT, like, acknowledge him some other time, just to be like, you know what, with a special guest referee, and it's all night. It's just like, he has nothing to do with these guys.
He wasn't as hot in NXT as he is now, so that's
obviously. So I don't know, but this match was okay for me. Like, I knew what was gonna happen. We all knew what was gonna happen, and it happened. And it just gives more hype to LA Knight, which I'm just like, let's get him. You know, they've been teasing stuff with the Bloodline, but is that for after? Is he gonna get a title shot somehow? Is he gonna start feuding with the Bloodline?
This match was just basically
solo Jimmy matches, you know.
This match was just to pour fuel on the fire for Roman Reigns returning on Friday.
Exactly.
That's all it was.
And Daniel, I am so glad you said that right now, because literally my whole breakdown of this match was going to be revolved around that. Because literally I was watching this match, just get me to the finish so we can get to SmackDown on Friday.
You're legit.
Return of Roman Reigns. Because literally that's literally what this match was. It was a pit stop to get Roman Reigns coming back. I mean, you got John Cena. You got John Cena with the hottest star in the company, obviously giving LA Knight that rub. So that's why we all predicted it was going to be Cena and LA Knight. And you also the PLE is crown jewel. Apparently, they're planning on doing Reigns against Cena for the title again.
Yeah.
So I was just watching this match like, okay, this is cool. This is entertaining. This is nice. All right, finish. Cool. Bang. All right.
Take your notes and move on to the next subject.
Exactly. That's literally what I was watching. Okay, this is entertaining. This is good.
So now that we have that, we understand that that's happening, and potentially John Cena's facing Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. Is there any percentage of chance of John Cena winning at Crown Jewel?
Absolutely.
Oh God, no.
Absolutely not.
No.
I'm just saying he's not around during WrestleMania season. I'm just throwing it out there. They've been saying he's the greatest of all time.
Absolutely not. Nope. Especially, I saw on the news recently that I guess the negotiations in the actor strike have paused. They came to it. So John Cena is going to be around, but he also said in the post conference that as soon as the strike ends, he has to go back and film a movie. It can't be like, oh, let's wait a couple of weeks and then go back. Like, no, when the strike ends, the next day he's got to go back to the movie set. So that alone kind of keeps him from winning a championship. So we don't know when that's going to happen.
It's in play. He's the greatest of all time. They've been touting that. Just saying, he's at 16 for a while now. Is there any chance that they give Big Match John, 17 in India?
India? I mean Saudi Arabia?
Oh, my bad. Saudi Arabia.
You can't confuse those two. Don't do that.
Saudi Arabia. My bad. Saudi Arabia. Is there any chance? I'm just saying, Big Match John, they love him over there.
He's not Big Match John no more. He's not. He's deflated a bit, you know, and his hair has disintegrated a bit as well.
John, you got money to fix that. Why are you not?
He wears hats.
It's like, yo, dude,
that's what it is.
You got money to fix that part.
Hey, if Hulk Hogan can still keep whatever the hell is hanging on the back of his head,
the George Jefferson loose. That's what I call it.
I don't know what the hell Hulk has. I'm convinced that's just a wig that's like
under that Ultimate Warrior even said they're extensions.
I bet.
Oh my goodness, man. You guys don't want JBL coming back out and saying, "All right, Michael, it's Big Match John."
Oh my God!
Looking back, I kind of slept on JBL's commentary. I kind of took it for granted. JBL was a good commentator.
Yo, he was a great heel.
He was a good heel commentator.
I love JBL.
I love JBL. I did.
Wrestling God.
All right, let's get into our last match of the night. Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which everything was looking fantastic. Looking awesome.
I'm going first.
Go ahead, Louis.
I'm actually going to let both of you go first on this one before I go. So.
Go ahead,
the hope and dream of Shinsuke finally getting gold was so close. It was fingertips away.
It was the brass ring that nobody grabbed.
No. I don't know, man. And you know what the funny thing is like halfway through the match, I'm like, Shinsuke is killing Seth right now. I'm like, they're gonna do the switcheroo. I was like, I felt it, and I don't know. I felt it. The match was great, honestly. They gave him a good time. They went around and they had great spots. Shinsuke finally using the mist. I thought that was going to be the end of the match right there.
Yep.
Going into the crowd, going over by like the Titantron and stuff, like stuff was great. But in the fact that the move that Seth did, what was it? Was it like a Falcon Arrow through the table?
Yes.
In the crowd, and then like he still uses the table to stand up, and then Shinsuke can't. I feel like the move just wasn't impactful enough for me. I don't know. I feel like either get back to that, like that ladder spot, whether it was Shinsuke or him took that. I feel like that would have been a great spot. Like, come on, falling off the ladder onto the table, not a regular table, the announcer's table. I feel like that should have been Seth's end right there. But
I just
go ahead.
I just can't. I can't fathom the attack. We know he has an injured back.
Yeah.
So that's
broken apparently.
Broken back. That's strike one.
Mm-hmm.
The way Shinsuke went with the nunchucks, put him through the table.
The mist.
I can't even remember all the stuff he did in the match, but he worked Seth Rollins to the point where it was like, okay. And even as Lewis was saying, we all thought they was going to do a switcheroo. He's beaten up too bad. And I'm sitting there over the course of the match. I'm like, they're going to have Shinsuke beat him down, and then Seth is going to have it look like he's going to win. And then hopefully they have Shinsuke do one last thing to put him over the top match. And even the ending, the Falcon Arrow through the table, I'm not even mad at that. My whole thing is like, Shinsuke should have got up.
Exactly. That's my thing. Like he was there.
And even the ending was a little bit touchy because it's like, if you're going to give Seth the win, if Shinsuke was going to get up or at least stumble and then just have him hit the curb stomp outside, that probably would have been like, okay, all right.
That would
probably would have been the best booking decision. And it's just like
the nail in the coffin, so.
And it just feels like, all the stuff that they've been building up with Shinsuke, and now it's just for nothing. Like, again, like this is what I'm saying.
Like, it was just such a perfect setup. I was like, yeah, he lost the first match, comes back after him, is literally on, and then he announces last man standing. It was just like, it was perfect heel work all the way through. And I feel like this should have been an instance where, yes, Seth I don't know. I feel like he's had a good reign. And I feel like Shinsuke could have finally got his flowers, and it would have been so meaningful to a lot of people.
All right, so if there's two things I didn't like, is number one, I honestly felt that like when did we ever seen Shinsuke actually use mist? I think that was the first time since he's been signed with WWE that he's actually done a mist spot. So just because of that alone, that should have been that. If he was going to use that mist, then that should have been a signal that he was going to win, because
easily.
It's a surprise.
Pushed him through the table. I honestly was watching, thinking, okay, I was wrong. They changed their booking philosophy. Shinsuke is winning this match now. And as soon as Seth got up, I'm like, right back to the same booking philosophy. And what made it even more frustrating, because I heard Bully Ray talking about this on Busted Open Sports Radio and a couple of other people when Seth came out on Raw the next night, not even selling his back from the beat.
Not even taped. What happened to the tape?
Not selling, just coming out with the typical singing and dancing, having the crowd sing a song, and then Drew came out and they set that whole thing up. It's like you're not even selling the battle wounds from Shinsuke, which kind of hurts Shinsuke in the process even more with all the building, with all the vignettes and everything that they had done. And even though I picked Seth based upon WWE's booking philosophy. As a personal choice, I wanted Shinsuke to get the win. Like, I was watching
you, Brian. It's your fault.
See, now
the tables have turned. Your negative energy. You did this.
My negative energy.
Get him out of here.
They do this all the time. If it's going into a last man standing match and the heel is standing tall, the babyface is always going to get the win no matter what. It was a last man standing match.
You put it out into the universe, Brian.
I just can't get with that. I just can't get with that. I'm sorry. I can't get with that. That was the wrong man won on last Saturday. The wrong man won. That's all I'm saying. Like what Lewis said, it was set up perfectly. The injured back, the last man standing match. There's no way Seth Rollins should be able to win that match. There's no way he should be able to win that match.
So now he's
That
big
hurt.
match Seth. Like, come on.
All right, Michael. Big match Rollins. It's just terrible that he won. And it's just like, I understand, again, we all feel the same way. Like, Seth definitely needs something, and it needed something like to spice it up. Yeah, he's knocking all these challenges down and stuff like that. And apparently he's getting Drew McIntyre, which is like, okay, yeah, like we're getting this tweener version of Drew McIntyre right now, which I like. But now Shinsuke apparently is in a feud with Ricochet again, and it's like, that's not what you just built
knocked
up
down
for.
the ladder. It was like he was literally at the very top, and then just halfway knocked down. It's like,
I just feel bad for Shinsuke, man. And
I do too.
If there was any,
either.
I think I said it in the chat. I was like, Seth could have got it back at the Royal Rumble. Like, he could have got it back at the Royal Rumble Survivor Series. I would have been happy with a Shinsuke 2-month reign or something like that. It would have been dope. And I don't know, man. I don't. You brought the Great Muta in for payback. You did all this stuff with Shinsuke, and then it's just like, man, thanks for showing up. Thanks for doing the job.
Basically.
Thanks for doing the job. But yeah, that hurt. That hurt. Our last, could be our last subject of the night. SmackDown preview, the return of Roman Reigns. What is the anticipation of Roman Reigns returning? What do you guys expect happening on SmackDown? Premiere episode of SmackDown.
I am hoping LA Knight finally confronts Roman Reigns, or at least the Bloodline, or some interaction between him and the Bloodline, because they've been having all these confrontations, the segment with him and Heyman. Now they had this match with the Bloodline. Now, basically LA Knight's in Bloodline's business. I just hope there's a little segue in there, I hope he more so gets screwed and not just like obliterated or something like that, because I feel that will definitely just kill his whole momentum. I definitely, like I said before, Triple H is going to be on SmackDown, so I just want to hear War Games, please. But with Roman, he has to address this whole Jimmy thing. Like, he has to give us something. He either has to kick his ass or smack him around or punk him out or something, because he has to address all this. Like, who are you to be making all these decisions when you got the wise man right here telling you, I haven't authorized any of this, and you're out here like, no, yeah, we're doing that, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's just like, no. Like, it just needs to be addressed.
I just need Roman to, one, set up his next feud, which apparently is John Cena. But I want, as you said, I want tea leaves of leading to LA Knight. I want him to address this Jimmy situation, especially with the de facto being the tribal chief since he's been absent. But also, potentially, I think they can bring in Jay in this situation, because I think that's going to be something else. If you're in the same building, if Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are in the same building, they have to cross paths. There has to be something. There has to be something.
I mean, I'm pretty much thinking along the same lines as you. I mean, along as you guys. When Roman comes, he needs to confront Jimmy and then ask him, "Why are you here? Why are you doing this? You're the one that wanted out. Now you want back in, and then you're trying to emulate me, and you're the one that got pinned. So what exactly what benefits do you bring?" And I think Roman's pretty much want back into this family. Then I need you to do so. I need you to do so and so and so and so. And I think he's gonna pretty much start treating him the same way he used to treat Jay. And he's gonna go along with that way. And you got Triple H. He's coming. He's pretty much gonna make the announcement probably for War Games. If he really, I mean, I know he'll never do this, but if he alludes to Tuesday's victory in some way, that would be hilarious. Seeing that attacking him on social media, so if he alludes to it some way, that would be entertaining. But yeah, we haven't seen Roman since after SummerSlam, so it'd definitely be a breath of fresh air to have him on the show. So can't argue with that.
You forgot and I guarantee this probably will happen because we've seen Miss Cargill on NXT. We've seen her on Raw. One more place to go. So he
Main
could be
event.
bringing her out. She could be,
main event.
Main
that would
roster,
be interesting.
Main roster SmackDown,
would be interesting.
No, I think they're gonna take their sweet time with her to be sure that she's she's built correctly and taken care of. And they're already off to a good start. Just her appearing means something now. Just her, these shots of her coming out of the car with these nice outfits and everything. Or she took a photo with Paul Heyman, which kind of went viral. So it's like, she's a star. She's a mega star. She hasn't even done anything yet, and people are already all over her. So when they actually start the creative, it's gonna be great. So I would love to see her on SmackDown.
If she debuts on SmackDown,
we need Bianca to come out too.
As I said, I've said in the chat. I've said that in the chat in terms of what they need to do with her is have her be the muscle have her join the Hurt Business and really set up a potential breakup between them. And then her and Bobby versus Ford and Bianca. And you set that
I think
up.
It's too early for all that.
I'm saying you set that up for WrestleMania. You get them together now, so they split up.
They need to be dominant for a good while. Like they need to run rough shack around.
They just need something. But I'm just like, if they do put her on SmackDown, that's what I want to see. But it's like I wanted her on NXT because I felt like that probably would have been the best place for her to just get her reps in. But if they feel like she's ready, I feel like Raw's the best place for her to go because they need something.
I think SmackDown would be good for her too, though.
Yeah. But
I feel like finally
Raw has recently been building up Nia Jax. Shayna Baszler made an appearance. So it's like, okay, all right, looks like you guys are kind of getting your shit together on Raw finally. So hopefully.
Yeah, and going back to Roman Reigns, I think Daniel, you mentioned it's like you have Cody and Jay and everybody in the same building. There has to be that interaction. Do you think we're actually going to get this Bloodline Fatal 4-Way at some point? Or you think
I've said it before. I've been saying for months. That's what needed to happen, and they didn't. They pulled the trigger too fast. That's what needed to happen. That's what they needed to happen, and they didn't.
I feel like they kind of dropped on that whole
storyline. That's what we thought.
The one aspect I feel like they've dropped, and it's mainly due to just Roman not being there, is the whole teasing of Solo kind of going against him. I feel like that's the last piece that needs to be presented, where it's just like, hey, you had everybody in your bloodline now wants to come after you now. So it's like you already got, obviously there's a bad blood between Jimmy, and if he comes back and starts treating Jay like shit, or again, am I mixing them up? Is it Jay on Raw?
Yeah, Jay's on Raw, Jimmy's on SmackDown.
All right, so if he comes back and kicks Jimmy's ass or treats him like shit, basically goes against him, and then you got Solo. It's like that's the only way I see that. All right, who's going to be the real tribal chief?
They should have said Jimmy wanted to be the tribal chief at SummerSlam. That's the storyline.
Very simple.
I'm about to write Triple H like, yo, this is the booking that you should have done. Then you could have had a fatal 4-way between these guys at Survivor Series, and it would have sold. A whole family going at it at Survivor Series, like that should have been the peak, the finish of that storyline, and then we could have got Roman and Cody going into WrestleMania.
Yeah,
he got that send off, but. In terms of what they're trying to do now, again, if Roman Reigns is going to try to, if he's going to face John Cena, have him just again. I just that's why I've been asking this question. You're going to have John Cena lose again? We saw him losing
so much.
We saw him get squashed at SummerSlam. He hasn't won. I'm just saying it's lined up. I'm just saying it's lined up. He lost that SummerSlam to Roman Reigns. He hasn't won a singles match since 2018.
He can afford the losses. He hasn't been here regularly since then.
He can't do it. He can't do it. He's gonna. I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling.
No, they can't. They can't do that. They can't end that title reign with John Cena.
At this point, no, because at this point, people just want to see John Cena right now. They don't care if he wins or loses. Like,
yeah, exactly.
He's getting those Doctor of Thugonomic gimmick reactions again.
Because we love John Cena, but I'm just saying in general, they've been calling him the GOAT. Why would you do that?
Because he's probably going to retire soon. I guarantee that's what it is.
And what better way to retire?
Why would he retire with the title? Why would he retire
with number 17? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm just saying. I'm writing it into the stars right now. John Cena is going to break.
So it's your negativity. You're causing this.
Hey. It was your negativity at first. It was your negativity at first.
Do you really want people to sour on John Cena again?
They don't care.
He doesn't
need the title. He doesn't need the title.
You don't think he doesn't need the title? He can drop it. He can drop it on the following SmackDown.
No,
they do it all the time.
No. Because you know why? If he does win the title, that has to lead into WrestleMania. Because he's not going to be in an elimination chamber. He'll have
he can lose it. He can lose it at Survivor Series. It's 3 weeks after. It's 2 weeks after.
Survivor Series is when? Like November?
The 25th of November.
Yeah.
Crown Jewel.
Crown
Jewel on the 4th. They do it all the time.
They haven't done that recently. They have not done that recently in years.
I'm just saying they've been.
Look at WWE now. When was the last title change besides the tag titles? You got the longest reigning IC. You got the longest reigning WWE.
Austin Theory, who shouldn't have lost. Yeah.
I mean,
he lost to the wrong
guy. He still had it for how long?
That's a
good 6-7 months.
I mean, he lost it to the wrong guy. That's all I'm saying. Santos should have been the champion. But again, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but still, there are no short.
It's a long shot. It's a long shot if it happens. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying they're dropping all these tea leaves. I'm just saying.
No, what tea leaves? He won a tag match.
They're calling him the greatest of all time, and they're setting him up with a title match in Saudi Arabia. I'm just saying. Why do you keep calling him the greatest of all time?
Because, like you just said, he's close to that number, so obviously they're going with that. They don't call Ric Flair the greatest of all time.
Paul Heyman has even referenced it when he's talking, when he's cutting his promos. He's calling John Cena the second greatest of all time. So, I mean, they've already kind of alluded to it. So I think Roman's probably going to go into it and say,
you know what? And that's probably why they're using the greatest of all time, because then they have him going against Roman Reigns. They were like, how are you the greatest when I have the greatest title reign ever?
Yeah, how are you the greatest? You never even beat me.
I'm just saying. Episode 50 is coming up. We're like 13 episodes away.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That GOAT debate is going to get really interesting.
It is. It's going to get very interesting. And I can't wait to have y'all see the error of your ways.
And you know what we're gonna do? Brian. We're just gonna play that 1 minute clip of Shawn Michaels selling.
Y'all still can't believe you got y'all shit again. With the exception of the match with Hulk Hogan, all the other instances was not overselling. Like I said, that's called good show energy. Right?
Oh.
Now with Hogan, we already know what the situation was, which made Shawn Michaels kind of act unprofessional. But if you look at that situation, hell, I would have acted that way too. If we agreed to do 3 matches and now we're only doing 1 and you're going over, oh fuck that. Then I'm gonna make that 1 match that you go over and look bad.
Brock's gonna be in that bracket this time.
Nah, the bracket is over. Your man's didn't make it, all right? Man's didn't make it, all right? We don't have to keep going down this road of Brock Lesnar who can't beat Roman Reigns, all right? We don't have to keep.
What are you talking about? He's beaten them plenty of times. What are you talking about?
Hey.
Literally. Like, Like
no,
10 times in the beginning.
He beat Roman Reigns with he was a baby, breath smelling that Similac.
Now we want to pick
behind the ears, eating diaper changes. He was a young boy. He should have beat him.
Pick and choose. Now, no, we can't beat him. He beat him.
I'm just saying he can't. He hasn't beaten him recently.
Tomatoes.
I'm just saying. Brock Lesnar can't be in the GOAT conversation, but you want to know what I'm going to say? You want to know who I'm going to say that can be in the GOAT conversation?
Ooh.
Roman Reigns.
He was in there.
I'm saying he's in the upper echelon now. I said it. He's up there. He's up there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Right. So to bring up another topic, I know that we saw in the reports that apparently WWE had a hard no on bringing in CM Punk.
Thank God.
And apparently the report is that they're not bringing him in. That it's not no forever. It's just no for the time being. So do you guys believe that CM Punk definitely is not coming?
Watch his ass come at like Royal Rumble. I guarantee. And I feel like it's another Cody situation in the sense where we don't really know. Nobody really knows. You know, it was the same thing with Cody. No, Cody would never leave AEW, and then boom.
I'm
just saying. I
believe in that.
I'm never gonna say never. I personally don't need CM Punk, but yes, it would be. Yeah, he can finish his story, I guess, back in WWE. Like, obviously, WWE fans for the longest time wanted him to come back. But for me, after everything that went on in AEW, I don't need drama bullshit going on now in WWE where he's getting into fights with other wrestlers and then that takes over and that takes away from the product. It's just not good for the business. That's just where I'm at.
I've been saying for the long. I said it when it was first rumored that he might go back to WWE or whatever the case may be, that he leaves AEW and stuff like that. I was like, there's too much money on the table. There's too much money on the table. At the end of the day, it comes down to dollars and cents. There's too much money on the table. And yes, WWE doesn't need CM Punk. They don't need him. They don't need him.
They don't.
But in terms of trying to continue to sell dollars, sell merchandise, have matches, there's matches on the table that they can have easily for CM Punk. Easily. Seth Rollins is there. That's the money. That is the money match that they've been looking for. If we're not going to have Cody get into the title picture, that is the money match that they're looking for right now. That is it. That is it.
Mm-hmm. As far as Punk goes, like Daniel said, you know, they don't need him. Would it be nice to have him? Of course, you know. I mean, he's still a top draw. He still has the name value. You know, Survivor Series obviously would be the perfect setup to have him. And with everything that's happened this week with Tony Khan and his nonsense, I mean, if there was any motivation just to bring in CM Punk and to show them, they're like, all right, this is how you use him, and this is how you take care of him and keep him out of the bullshit. That would be the perfect fuck you back to Tony Khan. But but you know, even though WWE has shown pettiness in the past on certain things, I mean, I don't think that's something that they would necessarily touch. But I kind of in the agreement of like, yeah, they don't really need him, and it kind of is still the whole everything that's happened over there is kind of still fresh in people's minds, especially the incident with Jack Perry. So they may hold it off and just say, maybe at the Rumble. Yeah, we'll bring him back. Surprise everyone at the Rumble. So it's no for now in Chicago. I think they put that out so fans in Chicago wouldn't be buying tickets thinking they were going to see CM Punk. So
yeah,
you know they're going to derail that show regardless. They're going to try to derail it. They're going to try it, but it's like I don't know. Like I still feel like WWE is going to put on a banger at Survivor Series. Like it's one of the big four. And I'm just saying, I'm not going to close the door on CM Punk. Maybe that's a way to just kind of quell the dirt sheets or whatever the case would be. And then just have it at the final hour, have him sign and show up and stuff like that. But it's like, that's Chicago, man. Like I feel like there's just like this. there's just that angle of it, like having CM Punk show up there, like that's gonna be insane. Like that's gonna AEW better not have Collision that day. If that happens, it's like, all right, you guys gotta like pick a different night.
All right, so another question, and going back to NXT versus AEW this past Tuesday. Now, if I remember correctly, was there an MLB on Tuesday?
I think so.
So there definitely was a playoff baseball game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me double check.
I'm checking right now. MLB Tuesday scores, and yes.
So there was a playoff game on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was Orioles, Rangers, Astros, Twins.
All right, yeah. So obviously, with live sports being king, I mean, I don't think obviously, yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, they stacked up the show because of AEW, but I wonder if they were also thinking of well, we compete with everything else. I mean, this playoff and this baseball playoff game is huge. So for that reason, yeah, let's do that. But I was just curious into knowing if there was a baseball game that night too, because I also play a role in why AEW sucked as well.
I'm just saying, I don't know, man. But either way, we're gonna see what happens on SmackDown tomorrow night. I will be watching because Roman Reigns is there. Bloodline, Tribal Chief, Return of the Tribal Chief season premiere. WWE's making it look like a big show, especially with Triple H being there as well. We'll see what happens with that. But as always, thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna wrap this one up here. Hit something a little different.